All right, folks, let's get right into it. Have you been following the latest whirlwind surrounding Senator John Fetterman? This guy is stirring up quite the storm with his recent pivot away from the radical agendas of the Democratic Party. I mean, seriously, Fetterman is basically redefining what it means to be a Democrat in today's political scene. Well, he recently appeared on The View, and wow, it was, quite the spectacle. Instead of towing the party line, he's advocating for actual pragmatic solutions. And that's making waves. Big ones. Can you believe that? He's choosing his constituents in Pennsylvania over his party's insistent push towards the extreme left. It's kind of mind-boggling, right? Anyway, this bold stance of his is not only rattling feathers, but also setting a new benchmark for political discourse. He's all about bipartisanship and refusing to bow to the mounting pressure from, his own party's extremes. Did you catch that commitment to practical solutions over partisan allegiance? Totally refreshing. So, if you're into this kind of content and want to keep up with every twist and turn of this story and more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's super important to me. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subs by March, and honestly, your support would mean the world. Go ahead and subscribe so you never ever miss an update. Trust me, you won't regret it. All right, folks, let's get into the meat of the matter. Fetterman's, latest move, which has left everyone absolutely gobsmacked. Picture this: Senator John Fetterman diving right into the heart of political controversy by making a very surprising trip to Mar-a-Lago to meet with former President Donald Trump.
Well, and again, that's part of the own process too. I believe I'm the only Democrat, or maybe one of the only few, that have actually met with all of them. And again, I've approached all of them with, again, that open mind to have a conversation. And I don't trust, and certainly not, many of the things that were written or said about me weren't true. So I assume the same might be them as well too.
Yeah, you heard that right, Trump. This audacious decision has kind of sent shockwaves through the liberal circles, prompting intense backlash and leaving quite a few jaws dropped.
Start with RFK Jr. He's been through his hearing. This is what the Washington Post says. His confirmation hearings were even worse than expected. The HHS nominee's answers to senators' questions were absurd and dangerous. Now, I know that you've had multiple conversations with him. Where are you this morning?
I have. I've invested a lot of time to really understand his background and to learn more about the man. And I've sat down with him twice in my office to have a conversation. So whatever the vote comes down on, that's going to come. It's going to come an informed view.
So what was he thinking, right? Many people wonder if meeting with Trump was maybe a step too far. But, to be fair, Fetterman seems committed to bringing his brand of pragmatic governance to life, choosing to reach across party lines for the sake of progress instead of playing it safe or sticking to partisan norms.
Overall, it was a positive experience. I mean, he was kind. He was cordial. It wasn't in any kind of theater. It wasn't trying to get your picture taken to kind of put something out on social media. It was just really a conversation. It was just a straight up conversation. And I just have a rule: I'm going to engage and have a conversation. That's anyone playing it straight, and that's doing my job.
That's really something, isn't it? Now, this visit to Trump's lavish estate has been scrutinized heavily. Just imagine the uproar from Fetterman's own party, the radicals especially. They were already kind of wary of his bipartisan attitude, and then this happens. It's like adding fuel to an already blazing fire. Some critics, fueled by disdain and perhaps some fear, accused him of legitimizing a political opponent, a figure they see as, deeply divisive. But what if, amidst all this noise, Fetterman's intentions were purely about fostering dialogue? I mean, consider this. Despite the flack, he might be genuinely trying to find common ground to benefit the people he represents. Not many in politics are brave, or should we say, crazy, enough to take that step. But here he is, boldly taking risks where others might just, take the easy route. Fetterman's critics argue that rubbing shoulders with someone like Trump kind of undermines democratic principles, but Fetterman's unapologetically stating his case, highlighting his focus on the bigger picture.
Well, I said that on social media, that I was incredibly disappointed. I absolutely disagree with that. I can't really understand why my party hasn't joined me in voting to sanction the ICC when you've equivocated the Democratic leader of our special ally with the rapists and cowards of Hamas. Especially after what you've seen, after terrorizing that poor hostage. You had hundreds and hundreds of people, the chaos, it's like, and they've equivocated that with the prime minister. It's vile. I mean, my colleague that's going to be next up on your show, we've had a long going conversation in order to sanction the ICC. And I was absolutely supportive of that, and I can't defend why my party chose not to.
He's not abandoning the Democratic ship. He's merely trying to steer the conversation towards pragmatic alliances, which, to be honest, might be just what we need in these divisive times. Well, let's shed some light on what actually went down. Sources say the Mar-a-Lago meeting wasn't about endorsing Trump's policies or even patching up political ideologies. Instead, it was a conversation. A chance, if you will, to openly talk about issues affecting Fetterman's constituency in Pennsylvania. Issues that need cooperation, and not more political squabbles. Historically, bipartisanship has faced considerable hurdles, especially in today's polarized world. Fetterman stepping into Trump's proverbial den sends a clear signal. He's way more interested in action and solutions than just whining about differences. Even amid the backlash, he seems steadfast, and honestly, this kind of determination is rare and, I guess, pretty commendable. In defending his actions, Fetterman stresses the importance of bridging divides, not widening them, and he's doing it through dialogue. His insistence on having a seat at the table with representatives from across the political spectrum is met with mixed reactions. On one hand, some applaud his daring move and view it as a step towards healing political rifts, but, well, plenty of others are outraged, seeing it as fraternizing with the enemy. Fetterman stepping back from the Democratic echo chamber not only challenges norms, but also questions the prevailing illusion that liberals hold unwavering control over political narratives. His approach isn't just about working across the aisle in a generic sense. It reflects a sincere desire to bring tangible change by any means necessary, even if it means rubbing some party members the wrong way. There's a lot to unpack here, guys, but one thing's clear. Fetterman is disrupting the game, challenging the narrative, and forcing both parties to rethink their strategies and possibly reevaluate what it takes to solve real issues affecting real people. Amidst the uproar, you might ask, is Fetterman redefining how Democrats can interact with Republicans? This critical question already hints at how his recent meeting with Trump has shifted the paradigm of political engagement, even if just a little. Honestly, stepping back, one can't help but admire this boldness. It's not easy being a pariah in your own party. That kind of courage should perhaps give pause to those quick to criticize. Maybe, just maybe, it underscores the need for more politicians willing to risk reputations to bring about, actual political change. So, here's my question to all of you. How do you feel about this meeting? Is Fetterman a maverick making bold moves, or a misguided Democrat desperately clinging to his own vision? Don't just keep this to yourself, drop your thoughts, and let's, hash it out in the comments section below.